Have you ever noticed that there are daily expenses you're making that are in reality just wasting money? You've probably bought something you really liked, thinking it was a smart purchase, only to realize later that it was a clever scam by well-thought-out marketing strategies. So, are you unknowingly spending your money on things that don't truly add value to your life? Stick around for this video because I'm about to reveal 8 expenses that even the wealthiest people avoid. And if you want to take control of your personal finances, the first thing you need to do is stop pouring your money into these things. Late fees. Have you ever had to pay a late fee because you forgot to pay your credit card bill or loan? It's a very common issue, yet few people realize how much money is being wasted on it. These fees, though just a few dollars each time, can quickly add up over the course of a year, turning into a significant amount you're unknowingly spending simply due to a lack of attention. Late fees are truly a financial trap. You might think that a few dollars isn't much, but what you don't realize is that financial companies are making billions of dollars every year from these very fees. Credit card companies, for example, know that not everyone will pay on time, and they've already calculated how to profit from those who miss deadlines. This not only reduces the money you could save or invest, but it also impacts your credit score, leading to higher interest rates on future financial transactions. However, there are solutions to avoid these fees. The first and smartest step is automating your bill payments. Most credit card companies now offer automatic payment services, ensuring you never have to worry about forgetting a payment again. You just set up automatic payments for the minimum amount or full balance each month, and everything gets handled automatically, helping you avoid unnecessary late fees. Additionally, if you do happen to miss a payment once, don't hesitate to call your credit card company to request the fee be waived. Credit card companies are always looking to keep their customers satisfied and are often willing to remove late fees if you have a good payment history. Simply explain your situation and ask for the fee to be waived. Both I and many of my friends have tried this, and we found that often companies are willing to waive a late fee once a year. Lastly, to keep your finances in check, set up payment reminders. There are many financial apps and scheduling tools that can help you track due dates for payments. Setting up reminders not only helps you avoid late fees, but also helps you manage your budget and personal finances more effectively. 2. Beautiful shoes. Shoes are something many people regularly spend money on, but have you ever stopped to ask yourself if all those shoes are really necessary? If you're a shoe enthusiast, it's easy to feel like you need every new release or the latest fashionable pair. However, over-shopping for shoes can lead to wasted money. The shoes you buy may not even get enough use, turning them into an expense that doesn't offer long-term value. No matter how beautiful they are, shoes are assets that depreciate quickly. Once you purchase them, their value almost immediately drops significantly. Furthermore, shoes aren't like other items that can be reused or invested in. They're a non-appreciating asset that doesn't offer lasting benefits, simply occupying space in your closet. Imagine spending a large sum on the latest pair of shoes, only to discover a few months later that they're no longer in style, or worse, they've never been worn. You'll realize you've wasted a substantial amount of money on an item that brings you no value. So, what's the solution? To avoid wasting money on shoes, you need to change your shopping approach. First, buy shoes only when you truly need them. Consider whether you can reuse your old shoes. Instead of chasing the latest trends, opt for shoes that are durable, versatile, and will remain stylish for a long time. Invest in high-quality shoes that you can use for years, rather than trendy pairs you'll quickly tire of. Additionally, choose shoes that aren't influenced by seasonal trends. Go for classic designs like quality leather shoes or simple yet elegant sneakers. These shoes not only last, but can also be paired with many outfits, from workwear to casual streetwear. Instead of focusing on quantity, prioritize the quality and functionality of the shoes you purchase. Lastly, ensure that any shoes you buy are genuinely necessary. Before making a purchase, ask yourself if the pair will truly enhance your shoe collection or if you're just swept up in the shopping frenzy. If not, consider saving that money for investments that could help grow your assets or provide long-term value for your future. 3. Brand name medications. Brand name medications like Claritin, Zyrtec, or popular cold remedies are easy to find in pharmacies and are trusted by many. However, when you look at their prices, you'll quickly realize that these medications are often much more expensive compared to similar alternatives. But is it really worth it? The issue is that many people don't know there are generic drugs exactly the same as the branded ones that cost a fraction of the price. Consumers are often drawn in by big advertisements and well-known brands, but the truth is you don't have to pay a premium just for a brand name. Imagine you need to buy a cold medicine and you pick up a well-known brand like Claritin thinking it's the best choice. You pay around $20 for a box, but do you realize you're mostly paying for the brand and advertising? In reality, these drugs contain the same active ingredients as generic versions, which cost only a small fraction of the price. The issue isn't just that you're wasting money on the brand name, but also that you're missing out on a huge opportunity to save. You're not only paying for the drug, but for the cost of advertising, distribution, and other factors that have nothing to do with the medication's effectiveness. The solution is simple. Choose generic drugs instead of brand name ones. In fact, generic drugs contain the same active ingredients and work just as well as their branded counterparts, but without the added costs of advertising, distribution, or branding. Agencies like the FDA, Food and Drug Administration, have tested and approved generic drugs as being just as safe and effective as brand name medications. For example, if you need allergy medication, instead of choosing the expensive Zyrtec, you can opt for generic cetirizine, which works the same but costs only a fraction of the price. These generic options not only help you save money, but also ensure you're not paying for the hidden costs of the brand. Additionally, an important piece of advice is to always consult with your doctor or pharmacist before switching to a generic, as they can help you choose the right medication for your health needs. Don't be fooled by the name or advertisements. Quality and effectiveness don't depend on the brand, but on the active ingredients. Choosing generics not only helps you save money, but also allows you to use your money more wisely and effectively. 4. A new car. Buying a new car is one of the biggest financial decisions many of us make in our lifetime. However, few realize that purchasing a new car can be a significant expense and might not be the best long-term investment. The moment you drive that new car off the dealership lot, its value has already dropped considerably. This means you've paid much more than the actual value of the car from the very start. For most new cars, this depreciation can be as high as 20–30% in the first year, making investing in a new car a poor financial decision when you consider its long-term value. So, what's the solution? Instead of buying a new car, consider investing in a used car. Buying a used car, especially one that's 1 to 3 years old, can save you a significant amount of money, as it has already undergone the biggest appreciation in the first few years but still holds substantial value. These cars have typically completed the steepest part of their depreciation cycle, allowing you to own a high-quality car at a much lower price. Additionally, you can choose certified pre-owned vehicles from reputable dealerships or opt for a used car with a warranty. This ensures peace of mind about the car's quality and durability. For example, a 2 to 3-year-old Toyota Camry can save you thousands compared to buying a new car, yet still offer reliability, fuel efficiency, and less depreciation. A helpful tip is to look for used cars from reputable brands known for their durability, like Toyota, Honda, Ford, or Subaru. These cars not only have long-lasting value, but can also hold their resale price better over time. Plus, you won't have to worry about rapid depreciation like you would with a new car. Buying a used car not only helps you save money, but also allows you to invest in a vehicle that truly meets your long-term needs without the concern of losing value too quickly. 5. Buying discounted items. Shopping for discounted items might seem like a smart way to save money, but do you really need those things? Many of us have the habit of buying things we don't need just because they're on sale, turning what seems like savings into a waste of money. While you might save money on a discounted product, if it's something you don't truly need, you're still wasting money on things that don't provide long-term value. This means you're spending on items that you'll ultimately never use or won't need. Imagine walking into a store and spotting something you hadn't planned on buying, but because there's a 50% off sale, you decide to add it to your cart. You think you're being smart by saving money. However, when you get home, you realize that item doesn't fit your needs, doesn't match your home decor, or you don't even have a plan to use it. In the end, the item just becomes part of a pile of unused stuff, taking up space and making you feel like you wasted money. This happens all too often when we get caught up in the mindset that buying things on sale equals saving money. But in reality, you're just spending on unnecessary things, and what you thought was a good deal becomes a financial burden. So, what's the solution? Instead of buying things just because they're on sale, ask yourself if you really need that item. Before making a purchase, ask yourself, is this item truly useful to me, and will I use it long term? If the answer is no, don't let the discount label trick you into unnecessary shopping. A more effective approach is to make a list before you go shopping and only buy what you actually need. Avoid stepping into stores just to see what's new because you'll likely be tempted by promotions. Additionally, focus on planned shopping and invest in items that offer long-term value rather than discounted products that you'll only use a few times and then forget about. For example, if you need a new jacket, choose one of good quality that will last rather than buying a discounted jacket that's poorly made and might fall apart quickly. Finally, if you find yourself really drawn to discounted items, a helpful tip is to wait before making a purchase. For example, if you want to buy a discounted item, wait at least 24 hours to see if you truly need it. If after that time you still want to buy it, it might be a reasonable decision. But if you forget about it or can't remember exactly what it was, it's probably not something you actually need.
6. Souvenirs. When we travel, it's easy to get caught up in buying souvenirs as a way to remember the trip. Souvenirs might be small, cute items like t-shirts, mugs, or miniature figurines of famous landmarks. However, most of these items don't have real value and often end up forgotten in a drawer or used only once. Buying souvenirs is not only a waste of money, but also takes up space in your home without providing any lasting value, no matter how much you spent on them. Imagine you've just had an amazing vacation in a city you love. You can't resist buying a few expensive souvenirs, perhaps a t-shirt with the city's name or a handcrafted item you think will always remind you of the trip. But after a while, you realize that the t-shirt has become wrinkled and you no longer like it. The handcrafted item just sits in your closet, never displayed, because it doesn't really fit your living space. You feel regret because those items are just taking up space without bringing any satisfaction or value. The simple yet effective solution is to invest in experiences and memories instead of material souvenirs. Travel experiences like going on tours, trying local foods, or participating in special activities during your trip provide real value. The memories of your trip will stay with you forever and will never fade with time. Instead of buying souvenirs, you could take beautiful photos, capture memorable moments, or even write a travel journal to preserve your emotions and memories. The pictures and stories from your trip will give you vivid memories that are easy to share with family and friends, and most importantly, they won't take up any space in your home. If you want to give a gift to someone after your trip, think of something more meaningful, like a painting you created, a handmade item you made yourself, or a book about the special experiences you had during your travels. These gifts not only hold sentimental value, but also allow the recipient to feel the sincerity of your experiences and the connection to the trip you've had.
7. Lottery tickets. Buying lottery tickets is a common activity that many people engage in with the hope that it could change their lives overnight. However, the reality is that the odds of winning are extremely low, and purchasing lottery tickets becomes one of the most wasteful expenses, especially for those with low income. Lotteries are often marketed as an easy way to strike it rich, but participants don't realize they're playing a game with nearly zero chances of winning. Sure, a few people do win, but they are a tiny fraction compared to the millions of others who take part. Imagine spending $5 each week on lottery tickets. It may seem like a small expense, but when you calculate it over a year, you've spent nearly $250 just trying your luck. That's a significant amount of money, especially if you're living paycheck to paycheck. The more you buy, the deeper you fall into the trap of hoping for the impossible, while real financial opportunities to change your life go unnoticed. The lottery is not only a waste of money, but it also reflects a survival mindset rather than an investment mindset. Regular lottery players, instead of using that money to invest in opportunities that could truly bring long-term value, are simply gambling with extremely low odds. So, what's the solution? Instead of continuing to spend money on lottery tickets, you should invest in opportunities that can actually yield real returns. One of the best choices is to invest in stocks, especially in index funds or stocks of large, stable companies with long-term growth potential. These investments not only help grow your wealth over time, but also allow you to build a passive income stream. In addition to stocks, you could also consider investing in real estate. Although the real estate market has its fluctuations, it remains one of the safest and most profitable investment methods. Buying property, renting it out, or selling it can provide a steady income, and unlike lottery tickets, your property won't lose value instantly. Starting a business is another opportunity. If you have a creative idea or a special skill, you can start a small business. Investing in a business not only helps you generate income, but also allows you to develop financial management skills and increase your personal wealth. Investing in these profitable opportunities will certainly build you a much stronger financial future than continuing to rely on luck with lottery tickets.
8. ATM fees. ATM fees are an unnecessary expense that most people encounter at least once in their lives. When you need to withdraw money from an ATM outside your bank's network, the fee can range from $5 to $7 per transaction. While this may seem like a small amount, if you make multiple withdrawals each month, it can quickly add up to a significant sum that you're wasting. The good news is that these fees are completely avoidable with some simple changes to your ATM usage habits or by choosing the right bank. Imagine you're in an area without your bank's ATM and need to withdraw cash urgently. You find the nearest ATM and withdraw $20, but you have to pay a $5 fee for using an out-of-network ATM. At first, you may think it's a small fee, but by the end of the month, you might have spent $20 to $30 just on ATM fees. This not only reduces the cash you have available, but can also add stress to managing your finances. If you withdraw money multiple times a year from ATMs outside your network, your total cost could reach hundreds of dollars, offering no value other than the convenience of withdrawing cash. To reduce ATM fees and save money, you can choose banks that offer ATM fee reimbursements or provide free ATM access for their customers. Some online banks like Chime or Ally not only waive transaction fees when you withdraw from other banks' ATMs, but also reimburse you for out-of-network ATM fees. When choosing a bank, make sure to research their ATM fee policies to ensure you're not paying unnecessary charges. This can help you save a significant amount each month without worrying about ATM withdrawal fees. Another way to avoid these fees is to use free ATM networks. You can search for services like Allpoint, which has thousands of free ATMs at supermarkets, retail stores, and other public locations. If you live near such locations, you can easily avoid high transaction fees from out-of-network ATMs. Some banks also offer free ATM services at certain locations or allow a certain number of free withdrawals each month for their customers. If you still need to use ATMs outside your network and can't avoid the fee, a simple solution is to withdraw a larger sum in one transaction rather than multiple smaller ones. For example, instead of withdrawing $20 each time, you could withdraw $100 once a month, minimizing the number of times you incur a fee. This not only helps you save money, but also improves your financial management by avoiding excessive fees throughout the month.
And those are the 8 common wasteful expenses many people easily fall into, like buying branded items, ATM fees, and Wi-Fi charges. These expenses not only drain your finances, but also prevent you from building long-term wealth. The key is awareness and changing your spending habits. Invest time in learning about personal finance so you can manage money and invest wisely. Don't let bad habits delay your financial growth.